name is Kayla Nielsen. I'm doing my demonstration speech, and today I'll be demonstrating how to make oatmeal raisin cookies. So this oatmeal raisin cookie is my mom's recipe. It is told it's one of the best people have ever had, and I think it's pretty fantastic, and that it'll convert anyone that was against oatmeal raisin cookies to be in love with them after that. So the first thing about making anything, even cookies to regular making pasta or anything, you want to have your mise en place, which is everything put in place, making sure you have all the right ingredients, all the right amount of ingredients, because it's kind of not fun when you realize, oh, I don't have enough of this, and you have to go borrow a cup of sugar from a neighbor or something. It's usually not very fun. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is preheat the oven to 375 degrees, and then we'll get started on making it. So first we cream, butter, and sugar. So it's about 1 cup and a fourth of butter, and 3/4 cup of brown sugar, and 1/2 cup of regular sugar. So in making cookies, you can cream them either using like a KitchenAid like I have. You can use a hand mixer, or you can mix it by hand. Using electronic mixers obviously make it a little bit easier, and just a little bit easier on you. So then all we have to do is just place down the paddle and just turn it on. Alright, so you want to cream your butter and your sugar. You don't want to over cream it, because then your cookies will fall flat. So you just want to cream it on a low speed, and you just keep going till all the butter and the sugar is incorporated. One thing you can do is you can always turn it off, lift it up, scrape the sides of the bowl so you're making sure you're getting everything in and incorporated. Place it back down and turn it back on. The next ingredient we're going to add is you add 1 egg to the mixture. You add 1 egg, and you add a teaspoon of vanilla. And lower that mixture back down and turn it back on for just a few seconds. Again, you don't want to over cream it, especially with the eggs and the sugar, because you don't want to whip it up and make it too thick, because then it'll just go super flat. When dealing with eggs, people always worry about, especially with eating raw things, about eating raw cookie dough, is always worry about salmonella. Salmonella comes from the bacteria that's on the outside of the eggshell. You can still be contracted from it, but eggs in the United States are pasteurized and well taken care of, so it's something that's very highly monitored, and you don't have to worry about too much here in the United States, and they're very good about keeping track of that. Alright, so let's turn this back on. You never want to add ingredients, especially dry ingredients like flour, when the mixer is on, because that's when it goes up and flies everywhere. So the next ingredient is adding a cup and a half of flour. Just use all-purpose flour. You don't need to use any special pastry flour or bread flour or anything like that. Add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of allspice. And you just let down the lever again, and just turn it back on. Alright, when you just turn it back on, make sure especially you start on a low speed, especially when you've got new dry ingredients in there, like flour. And after that, you can slowly increase the speed as it slowly starts to incorporate, so the flour doesn't fly everywhere and make your kitchen a huge mess. So just make sure it's incorporated. You can always stop the machine, lift it up, scrape the sides of the bowl, making sure you're grabbing all the flour, because you don't want chunks of flour in your cookies. Turn it back on for another mix. Turn up the speed a little bit so it kind of whips it a little more. The next thing we're going to add is 3 cups of quick oats. You can use regular oats. Quick oats just are a little bit smaller in size, so and just a little bit easier to chew on. Then if you want to use regular oats, my suggestion would be to just run them through a food processor on a pulse just a few times, just to get them a little bit better. So you just add them in, mix on a low speed. We don't want to mix this one at all too fast, just till it gets all incorporated. And then we're going to add our raisins. So one thing about adding dried fruit to anything, whether it's cake, breads, or cookies, is you may want to make sure that you soak them in hot, warm water first. Hot or warm water, either one works, because what happens is when you bake the cookies, the moisture from the raisins, like raisins for example that we're using, they have no moisture in them, so they absorb the moisture from the cookies and give you a little more crunchier and a little less moist cookies, so they kind of take away some of the moisture and make it a little dry. So I soaked this cup of raisins in hot water, and then I drained it off, and now I'm just going to add it all into my mixture. And then this one, instead of actually putting it through the mixer, I'm actually going to stir these ones in, because I don't want the machine to break them up at all and cause them to break up to little pieces, and because I like them nice and whole. You can also add nuts. Nuts are optional. Some people like nuts, some people don't. And yeah, just add in the raisins. Give it a good mix. And there you go. You have some oatmeal raisin cookie dough, all ready to go. All ready to start mixing up and making. Alright, so you just want to form them into about 1-inch balls, place them in the oven, your preheated oven of course, at 325, and set your timer for just about 10 minutes. And then just wait. Alright, after your cookies are done, you take them out of the oven, let them sit on the pan for just a minute, and then you remove them with a spatula onto a cooling rack just to sit and finish cooling off, and then you can take them and enjoy.